gonna be okay. We can get through this together. When everything in your life starts to go wrong at the same time, your health, your happiness, your home, it's easy to blame fate. But what if fate had nothing to do with it? Sit down, relax, and grab your popcorn as we dive into a story of love, envy, and the hidden battle between peace and bitterness. James and Rita's marriage began with hope. The kind that glows bright even when your pocket is empty. They were not poor enough to beg, yet not comfortable enough to rest. Every day was a balance between bills and survival. They lived in a cramped single room at the back of a noisy compound in Kasoa, the kind of place where life pressed close. The walls were stained from years of rain. The zinc roof clicked at night like teeth chattering in the cold, and the corridor smelled of palm oil and kerosene. Children screamed through the passage, kicking buckets over. Quarrels broke out like evening announcements. Sometimes Rita pressed her hands against her ears to drown the noise and whispered, "God, just a little peace before this baby comes." James tried to make it work. Every morning he rose before dawn, ironed his only good shirt with a charcoal iron, and hurried off to the bank where he worked as a junior staff. His pay was small but steady, a fragile promise of progress. Rita stayed home, heavily pregnant, folding donated baby clothes and humming softly to her unborn child. The doctor said she was due soon. She marked the days with quiet hope. Then one evening, James returned with something like light in his eyes. He dropped his worn leather bag on the shaky chair and pulled out an envelope. "Rita," he said, trying to keep his voice calm. "They promoted me." Rita froze. "Promotion?" He nodded, smiling. "A little raise, but enough to move us out of this place." Her eyes filled with tears. She clutched her belly and whispered, "God has remembered us." That weekend, they began their house hunt. Anyone who has searched for an apartment in Kasoa knows it's a full-time job mixed with heartbreak. Agents demanded inspection fees for houses that smelled of rot. Some flats were neat but cost more than James's whole salary. Others were affordable but buried deep inside streets where even sunlight seemed afraid to enter. Rita followed James under the hot sun, her feet swelling, her patience thinning. "James, what if we don't find anything before the baby comes?" "We will," he reassured her, though worry sat heavy behind his smile. 2 weeks passed. Still nothing. Then one quiet evening, James saw a signboard nailed to a small tree on the Zongo Street. 2-bedroom flat to let. The compound looked different, quiet, clean, freshly painted. The gate was green. Flowers lined the entrance, and there was no noise, no crowd. Looked like peace. He quickly copied the number and rushed home to show Rita. The next day, they met the landlady, Madame Lucy, soft-faced, slightly plump, and dressed neatly in black skirt and blouse. Her smile was wide, her tone gentle, her eyes steady. "Young couple," she said warmly. "But I like peaceful people. My only rule, no noise, no fighting, no trouble. Respect the compound and you will enjoy." Her calmness felt refreshing. She led them upstairs to see the flat. 2 clean rooms, a sitting area, a small kitchen with cabinets. The rent she mentioned sounded too good to be true. James blinked. "Are you sure, madam? It's quite affordable." She smiled. "I don't chase money. I prefer good tenants." Rita squeezed her husband's hand. "This is the one," she whispered. Within days, they paid and signed the papers. Madame Lucy even offered them her own truck to help with moving their things. "Don't stress," she said kindly. "You're like my children now." The following week, they moved in. Rita smiled for the first time in months as she arranged their few belongings. A borrowed fan, 2 plastic chairs, their small gas cooker. The flat smelled of fresh paint and lavender soap. As she hung the curtains, James looked around and whispered, "Can you feel it? Peace." Rita nodded, tears glistening in her eyes. "After all the struggle, this finally feels like home." Outside, Madame Lucy stood and hearing them with that same soft smile. "Welcome to my compound," she said. And to James and Rita, she looked like an angel, the answer to a year of prayers. But angels too can wear masks. And behind her kind eyes, something colder waited, patient, silent, watching for the perfect time to strike. The first night in the new apartment felt like a miracle. The ceiling fan hummed quietly without rattling. The windows let in soft air, and for the first time in months, Rita slept without hearing quarrels through thin walls. James lay beside her, whispering, "We finally made it." In that moment, life felt new. The next morning came with a soft knock at the door. Rita opened it to find Madame Lucy standing there holding a small flask of steaming food. "My daughter," she said warmly, "I cooked beans. You must be tired from the move yesterday. Eat something good this morning." Rita smiled, touched. "Thank you, madam. You're too kind." Madame Lucy's face lit up. A landlady must care for her tenants. That's how peace lasts. The beans tasted perfect, rich, soft, seasoned with palm oil and crayfish. When James came home that evening, Rita told him everything. "Imagine she cooked for us herself," Rita said, smiling. James nodded. "We prayed for a good place and God gave us a kind landlady. Maybe our luck is changing." From that day, Madame Lucy became like family. She knocked politely every morning to check on Rita. Sometimes she brought fruit, sometimes soup. She always spoke softly, calling Rita my daughter, and offering gentle advice. "Don't lift heavy things. Rest in the afternoon. Your husband is trying. Don't stress him with small complaints. Well, the baby will thank you." Rita began to rely on her company. It was comforting to have another woman's presence while James was at work. When her mother called from the village, Rita said proudly, "Our landlady is so kind, Mommy. She treats me like her own child." Her mother laughed. "That's rare in Kasoa. You're blessed." But blessings sometimes hide lessons. As weeks passed, Rita began to notice small things, harmless at first, but odd enough to stir unease. The day James brought home a new standing fan, Madame Lucy stopped by as usual. Her smile faltered when she saw the fan. "Ah, new fan?" she asked, her tone light. "Yes, madam," Rita said, smiling proudly. "James bought it for me. The heat was too much." Madame Lucy's lips curved again, but her eyes didn't. "That's good, but don't spoil yourself too much. Comfort can make people lazy." Rita laughed it off, thinking nothing of it. But that night when she told James, his laughter faded halfway. Strange thing to say," he murmured. Then he shrugged. Maybe she was joking. Another day, Rita's friend Alberta visited with a small gift, a bag of new baby clothes. They were bright and soft, wrapped neatly in pink paper. When Madame Lucy stopped by later and saw them, she smiled, touched the clothes gently and said, "Beautiful. You have good friends." But as she turned to leave, Rita caught a flicker in her expression. Something cold, distant, unreadable. For a second she thought she saw sadness. Or was it envy? She couldn't tell. Weeks turned into months. The apartment stayed spotless. The compound peaceful. And Madame Lucy's kindness never wavered. But beneath that calm, a strange heaviness began to creep into Rita's days. It started with small inconveniences. The tap near their flat suddenly stopped working, only theirs. When James asked the plumber, he said, "Madam told me not to fix it yet." Then one morning, Rita overheard two neighbors whispering by the gate. "That woman upstairs. She's nice at first," one said. The other replied, "Until you start doing well. Then her true face shows." Rita froze, her heart pounding. Were they talking about Madame Lucy? She wanted to ask, but their voices dropped the moment they saw her. That evening when she told James, he chuckled uneasily. Maybe they were gossiping. You know, Kasoa people. "Maybe," Rita said quietly, but she couldn't shake the feeling. As her pregnancy entered its 9th month, Rita's body grew tired. Yet, Madame Lucy remained her daily companion, bringing food, checking on her, sitting close and talking about life. "You're lucky," she said one afternoon, peeling oranges for her. "Some women never have peace in marriage. Some men leave when their wives get pregnant." Rita smiled softly. "James is different. He's patient." Madame Lucy looked at her for a long moment before replying. "Let's hope he stays that way." Rita laughed nervously. "He will. But as Madame Lucy turned to leave, her words lingered like smoke. Let's hope. That night, while James slept, Rita lay awake staring at the ceiling. For the first time since moving in, she couldn't sleep. She didn't know why, but the room felt off. It was quiet, peaceful, too peaceful. And in that silence, her mind replayed every smile, every visit. My daughter. Something wasn't right. But she couldn't name it yet. Outside, under the faint glow of the corridor light, Madame Lucy stood by her veranda, looking down at their door. Her face was calm, her lips still carrying that practiced smile. But her eyes were hard as stone. And as she whispered to herself, the words were soft but sharp. Let's see how long their happiness lasts. By the time Rita's pregnancy reached 9 months, James had rememorized the road to the hospital like the back of his hand. He and Rita went for checkups twice a week, always returning with the same answer. Everything is fine. Just be patient. But patience was running thin. Bills were piling up, and Rita's swollen body looked like it could no longer carry the weight of hope. Still, every morning Madame Lucy knocked gently, just as she always did. "Good morning, my daughter," she'd say. "How are you feeling today?" But her visits no longer felt comforting. They felt crowded, like she was inside their lives too much. One afternoon, James returned from work looking tired but cheerful. "I bought a small generator," he said, "so you won't stay in the dark when power goes off." Rita's eyes widened. "Ah, James, God bless you." They were laughing when the knock came, sharp and familiar. Rita opened the door. Madame Lucy stood there, smiling as always. Her eyes quickly scanned the small generator. "Ah, new gen," she said softly. "Yes, madam," Rita replied. "James just bought it." Madame Lucy nodded slowly. "That's good, but you know, generators cause trouble in compounds. The smoke, the noise. I don't like Walla." James stood up quickly. "Don't worry, madam. I'll only run it briefly at night." Her smile tightened. "Okay, just make sure it doesn't disturb anyone." That night, when James started the generator, "Ah, James, it's too loud," she called out from her balcony. He switched it off immediately and muttered, "Sorry, madam." The silence that followed was heavy and familiar. The same silence they'd once called peace. The next morning, Rita went to the tap to fetch water. But when she turned the handle, nothing came out. She tried the one downstairs, dry too. "Ah, madam, water has finished," she asked a neighbor who stood outside. But the neighbor winked and whispered quietly, "Only your side." "Oh," she told the plumber to lock it. Rita frowned. "Why?" The woman shrugged. "Ask Landlady." That evening, Rita mentioned it carefully. "Madam, I noticed the tap isn't running again." Madame Lucy smiled, pretending to think, "Oh, maybe the plumber made a mistake. I'll tell him tomorrow." Days passed and the tap remained dry. Rita stopped asking. Sometimes James would come home from work and find Madame Lucy sitting on a chair outside talking to a neighbor. But each time he appeared, she stopped mid-sentence and smiled at him too quickly. Once he overheard her saying, "Some people move into a new house and suddenly start forming rich. Whom life is funny." He didn't say a word, but that night he told Rita, "I think we should be careful what we say around her." Rita nodded slowly. "I've noticed too." As her delivery date stretched further, stress began to eat at them. James's promotion money was gone, swallowed by hospital bills and house repairs he didn't remember agreeing to. Meanwhile, Rita's pregnancy dragged on unnaturally long, 10 months, then almost 11. She grew restless, anxious, afraid. "Maybe God is testing us," she said one night, her voice breaking. James held her close, whispering, "We'll be fine, just a little more." But even as he said it, he wasn't sure. And outside on the veranda, Madame Lucy stood watching their window, her face lit faintly by moonlight. From her lips came a quiet sigh, the kind that sounded almost like satisfaction. The next day, Rita received a call from her friend Alberta. "Rita, how are you? Miss you. I want to visit and bring you some food." "Oh, please come," Rita said eagerly. "I need company." But Alberta never came. When Rita called again later that week, Alberta's tone was cold. "Your landlady said you're not feeling well. She said I shouldn't stress you. She even said James doesn't like too many visitors." Rita froze. "She told you that?" "Oh, I was already at your gate that day when she met me and told me to go back." Rita's hand shook. "Alberta, that's not true." But the line went silent. That evening, Rita sat staring at the wall. When James came home, she said quietly, "She's turning people against us." He frowned. "Who?" Rita met his eyes. "Madame Lucy." James didn't respond immediately. He didn't want to accuse anyone without proof. But deep down, something in him had already shifted. He started noticing what he once ignored. The way Madame Lucy's eyes lingered too long on their laughter. The way she arrived uninvited. The way peace never lasted long when she was around. That night, the compound was unusually quiet. The air felt thick, almost heavy. Rita sat brushing her wig, humming faintly while James scrolled through his phone, his mind elsewhere. Then, from nowhere, a faint rustle, something sliding softly across the floor. Rita stopped mid-stroke. "James, what was that?" He looked toward the door. A small folded paper lay just beneath it. As if someone had pushed it in silently. James picked it up and unfolded it. In uneven, hurried handwriting were 5 words that froze his blood. "Leave this house before it's too late." No name, no explanation, just those words. He rushed to the door, yanked it open, but the corridor was empty. The yellow bulb above flickered weakly. Shadows stretching along the narrow passage. No movement, no footsteps, only silence. He stepped out, looked both ways. Nothing. When he turned back, Rita was standing at the door, trembling. "James, who sent it?" she whispered. He stared at the paper again, heart pounding. "I don't know," he said quietly. "But whoever it is, they don't want us here." He locked the door slowly. The sound of the latch echoed through the still night. Outside, unseen, someone stood in the darkness of the veranda, watching their window without blinking. Watch out for part 2. What would happen to Rita's pregnancy, almost 12? Would James get another promotion to move out from Madame Lucy's apartment? Kindly share the story out with your loved ones and give the story a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel if you've not done so by now. Until I bring the next part your way. Bye.